everybody, out here Friday night, race time, Edinburgh, and we'll see what happens. Got the Fox out, the compound Fox, compound problems, whatever you want to call it. I call it Y 2.0. But we're gonna run some 60 foots, just to give a little update of what we've changed on it. Changed the front springs from 14 175s that really did not even have any movement in the front to some 12 150s or 125s, I can't remember. And it has a little bit of movement. The front end's a little bit lower, has more travel, about 2 inches more travel than what it had. So hopefully the shock can do a little controlling on it. And added 1 click of rebound in the rear, so we're at 8 rebound in the rear. And added another fuel pump, so have a little bit more power, can run it out a little further if I want to. Let's see, what else did I do? So I'm gonna leave the front tied down, full tight on the shocks. The rears are at 11 compression, 8 rebound now. And I'm gonna leave with the same. I did put the dump valve, so I no longer need the nitrous to spool it. I'm gonna go ahead and make the first hit without nitrous. I'm gonna use the trans brake to do the burnout and everything. I did pull the tires that I had on the Datsun, which are, I didn't put the new ones on, so definitely still in that boat of potentially spinning, but it hasn't really yet, so I'm not too worried. But I brought the other ones with me, the ones that are on the 8-inch wheels. Their date code of 2014 on those tires. The ones that are on there now are date code 2020, so at least they're newer. They feel softer, and they're on 10-inch wheels, so it should give me a little bit more grip regardless. But they were sitting out for a little bit. I don't know, I mean, it's kind of risky to be playing around with this game, but I figure I'll try to use them. If they're good, I'm going to use them before I throw the other ones on, because otherwise then I just throw them away and it's a waste of money. But we're going to go make a hit pretty soon. I got some friends coming out. I think Jesse is going to be doing some video out here. I don't have anybody right now to do any videoing for me, and my GoPro showed full battery, but now it's dead for some reason. But this is the way the car looks now. Looks a little different with these wheels because they're offset a little different. And I did go ahead, one other thing I did do, and you're not going to be able to see it at night, but I'll have to show it tomorrow, but I sand and buffed this fender, and it sure is a lot nicer. Maybe you'll be able to see it in the other videos, but I'll show a video of it once I start sand and buffing the whole car. I figure I'll do one panel at a time. Eventually I'll get the thing buffed, but it's coming out real nice. Surprisingly, this paint is buffing out pretty nicely. So about ready to go make a hit with no video. Hopefully Jesse can get a video and I can tag into that to put it on the channel. But I just want to see if I can get it to spool and to launch, and that's about all right now. So I'll be back with you soon. Brought it out? Oh, this is a different one. This ain't yours. Wrong car, bud. Go watch Ciro run his Blazer. See if he can get it in the 5s. He ran a 980 with it the last time, but they told him he doesn't have a bar in it, so he's got to getting ready to put a cage in it. Pretty simple setup. It's a 6.2. I built a power glide for it. Seems to be working good. 6.2 with he's got one of my S366, which is a tiny turbo for that cubic inch engine, but needs two of them on there, honestly. But it launches good, seems to hook. That's the main thing. So see how it goes. I don't know how you pronounce it, La Omilica, or something like that. It's a little ant. See what it does. Couple box bodies. They're gonna run full quarter. An anti-roll bar on this thing for sure. They're telling him don't run it. He's only going to run the 8. He's working on it. A little past the 8, but and what we got here, a little bit backwards. We got one tire power in the rear of this one, and then 2 big tires power in the rear of this one. It's almost complete polar opposites on these vehicles. Short wheelbase. A long drag tube. Oh man, that got a difficult clutch. Good day, everybody. Saturday. Went ahead and went to the track last night, and unfortunately, it was lots of problem after problem. Yeah. So I've been doing some testing on the dump valve, and I got that thing to work really well. And so I was really excited. I was like, all right, this is gonna work. We're gonna be able to get up on the converter real quick, and I can turn it up and do everything I need to do with it. And we're gonna see what happens. I went ahead and threw the 10-inch wheels on with some stiff wall Mickey Thompson drags. And so I'm like, all right, we should be able to hit it harder. And I was excited. Well, come to find out that while I was doing some testing, I ended up blowing off this little hose right here. And I didn't even know it. Let me see if I can get the camera on it. So this is for my power brake booster. I think actually that it happened after the first burnout. I think it didn't happen testing here. I didn't have any clamp on it because it's a silicone hose, and generally with boosts they start to tighten up on there, and I thought for sure it was going to hold because it hadn't had a problem yet, but it did have a problem. And so what ended up happening is I did my first burnout, and then I went to stage the car, and it was real slow building boost. So I thought for sure the dump valve wire had come off or the valve wasn't working or something. So I got focused on that and pretty much ran very similar to, I did, like I mentioned in the intro, I suppose, I'm not sure if I got this all in there, but I changed the front springs to 12 150s, and it's a little bit lower in the front. You'll see in the videos that it's a little lower in the front, but the travel is good. It's not just coming straight up and straight down now, so that's nice. And so I got that, but unfortunately, pretty much what happened is it came out on less boost. So the 60 foot was only a 140, I think is what it was. And then I was so fixated on the dump valve, and then I went ahead and I threw the nitrous back on, because I was like, well, I guess the dump valve isn't working. So I threw the nitrous back on it. Well, while doing that, I knocked out it had a fuse in that relay, and apparently I had knocked it out of there. Didn't even test it before I went up there, just assuming, oh, it was going to be the same as what it was the last time. So what happened was I went to do a burnout, and I could tell the nitrous was not coming on, but I had fuel in there for it. So pretty much it was sitting there just at 2,800. It just wouldn't build any boost, or wouldn't do anything. So I reached over real quick, clicked off on the control. Fortunately, it was on that screen that I could just shut the nitrous off. And so I did that, and then I did a trans brake burnout, trans brake launched, still came out on low boost. I deep staged, so the 60 foot was a little bit slower. I think it was a 144 or something like that. And so pretty much that was it. Go back to the pits, find that the fuse was the problem. Went ahead and put the fuse in it, cool it down. Fortunately, with the water pump and the fan, I can cool the engine down real quick. The turbos were pretty hot. Now I know why they were pretty hot. So go to do it again, and I should have listened to my friend Ciro. He said, you want to do another burnout? Because I'd done the burnout and I had kind of cut it a little short, and you'll see it in the video that when I let off, the tires are still spinning when I let off. So that tells you that they were not hooking up yet. I think people had drug water pretty far out. And so I think what happened is when I let off the burnout, I was trying to keep the car from dying and having to restart it after the burnout. So I kind of cut it short, kind of held it, brakes, all that stuff. And it's a new car, so, things are, and this car's very raw. So it's really a lot of rattles, a lot of, everything's hard mounted, solid mounts. So it's difficult to see. Well, anyway, I go to get up on boost. I turn the nitrous to get right to where the two-step hit, so it would build as much boost as it would. And then it just struck the tires and looked like it just did a burnout. So learned a few things that, I need to prepare myself a little more. First of all, do a boost leak test before I go. I only have 2 connections on this intake manifold, so should have been pretty obvious, because it was hunting. The idle was hunting weird, and I didn't even notice. These brakes feel so crappy anyway that I really didn't even notice that the brake booster wasn't working properly. Again, if it was my other truck, I would have known it right away. But this car being new and not really being used to it, it was pretty, unfortunately, I didn't catch it. So, but the fortunate thing is that it's pretty good. I did get to see that I do have to do something about it.